Welcome to another round of Coffee and Donuts. If you don't know who I am, I'm Frank McGaha. I'm the training director here at Armageddon. I'm a former federal law enforcement officer, and I have 3 pre-submitted questions about becoming a police officer. Let's discuss. Before we get started, if you want your questions answered, you can submit them on any of our social platforms. We get in there, we answer them all every single week. In addition to them, we can have them selected and bring them over here on Coffee and Donuts. We also have a new blog. I want you to get in that because in the blog we go into more in depth of specific aspects of whether it's the hiring process, the FTO, the academy, all critical elements to make sure your career is successful. Now, let's jump into this. First one I'm going to burn through just because this is a question that we're getting asked a lot. It's about paying for coaching calls with us. If you want, you have initial coaching calls with any member of my team, and those are typically free. Now, a coaching call with me, there is a small fee associated with it just because how many people were requesting it. But for a coaching call just to pay for this one specifically is, can I pay for a coaching call to just go over background and resume even if I'm not in the hiring process? Yes, you can. What I would say is take an initial coaching call, right? See why you're not in the hiring process yet. See when you'll be ready for it. Because going over resume and backgrounds is usually the first thing we do if you decide to join our coaching community or a one-on-one coaching. Those are usually the first 2 elements we touch in like the first couple weeks. So I would say go that direction is the best way, because first off, don't pay for coaching if you're not ready to hire or get ready to get hired and move through the process. All right, next one. I'm interested in becoming a police officer, but I only have 2 jobs on my resume. Okay, both are fast food. I worked my first job for only a year through my senior year of high school. After leaving, I was unemployed from May to October as I didn't have my own car and I had to move across town. My second job, I worked for over a year and 8 months before moving to another city, currently waiting to attend community college. Will I still be able to join? Yeah, absolutely. So, and this is a common mistake I see with individuals where they just don't feel that they meet the needs for it, or they have almost an imposter syndrome to try and even approach the profession. And that's not the case. Now, what I will say is reasons for leaving the job, those look all right. It looks like you can articulate the first one as you left the job due to leaving high school, and then, or it was a high school employment position. And then the second one, it looks like you relocated, and you started attending college. That's how I would articulate those. I mean, polish it up, clean it up, but that's how I would articulate those 2 things. Now, I would say this is, and if you can swing it, it looks better when you do have employment, right? Because college looks great and everything, but a lot of departments, a lot of hiring officials don't count college as employment status. They just count it as education, and employment status is one of the critical factors. So if you can pick up a part-time job while you're in college, specifically in public safety or even on campus, that would really move the needle really good in your favor. But nothing I'm reading right now, just based on how you explained it to me, is a huge flag. And the common misconception, right? This is something I see all the times. So let's re-articulate this one right now, just so you have it. Yes, I've had 2 jobs previously. My first job was when I was a senior in high school. After leaving that job, I had a small stint of unemployment. Afterwards, I employed at XYZ company for a year and 8 months before relocating to ABC City and starting and attending college. That's how you would articulate that. Now add on the aspect of, you say, yes, while attending college and also working part-time in, the security office or the bookstore, or pick your poison, right? For that. I think that would go a whole lot better way of articulating it. And if you're someone out there who has a similar situation where you're just saying, man, I just don't know if I meet the eligibility standards, as long as you don't have a permanent disqualifying factor, a lot of the stuff just comes down to properly articulating your experience. A lot of times people say, I was in fast food, I there's nothing that converts or translates over, as I like to say, to law enforcement. That's not true. You have customer service, you have dealing with fast-paced environment, you have making decision like rapid split-second decisions, maybe not at the same grand scale of effect as a law enforcement officer, but it's still experience that you can articulate and say, hey, I've had to deal with an irate customer and de-escalate a situation all over a simple order and something that I could easily fix. These are all great skills that you can use to move forward. So that's that one. All right, next one. I just passed my oral interview and realized I may have accidentally forgot to mention my one and only speeding ticket for questions asking about times I've been contacted by the police for any reason. Okay, not ideal, but I mentioned 2 other times I was pulled over for very minor things, but totally forgot about the speeding ticket. Can I bring this up to my background investigator as an honest mistake? Yeah, if it was one, that's exactly what you're going to say, but do this as quickly as possible, right? And this applies to anyone. I can't tell you how many times I get contacted about this specific situation where someone says, hey, honest mistake, I didn't recall until reviewing, this document or that document about this law enforcement contact that I had. What do I do? And a lot of people will wait till they actually have their interview or another follow-up with their background investigator or even their polygrapher for their polygraph, and you're going to get failed right then and there for waiting to bring it up. When you have something like this, you want to bring it up immediately. Now, what I will tell you is if they do continue to move forward with you, consider this your one get out of jail free card, your one mistake, your one mulligan, so to say. And the reason why I would say that is because if you do this again and say, oh yeah, there was this one other time, and you do that 2 weeks later, they're definitely going to DQ you, because now they just think that you're not taking it seriously, or you're not committed to actually following the process as it's designed. So, and I get it, it's honest mistakes, but that's why I say the preparation phase is so critical. Those that succeed in this take the time to prepare themselves. They review a sample PHS, a background packet, personal history statement, whatever you want to call it. They get into it. They make sure that everything that they could possibly prepare for, they're prepared for. And that still doesn't mean that something isn't going to pop up, but at least this way it's less things and you have a better shot of making it through and the background investigator actually believing you. So, yes, notify them immediately, right? And make sure you articulate it as best as possible. It's going to be hard for someone to believe depending on the time and distance from it. If you say, hey, yeah, I've been stopped by law enforcement, 2 times in the last 5 years, so no citation was issued. Okay. Excellent. And then you say, hey, I forgot that when I was 17, I received a citation for speeding. That was, 20 years ago. I apologize. That's more believable. If the citation was after the 2 other stops where you weren't given a citation, that's going to be really hard for them to believe that you forgot about that one, right? Whether you did or didn't, that's just, let's be realistic. That's how they're going to look at it and interpret it, because these individuals are constantly looking for individuals that mislead or lie to them. So keep that in mind. Not saying you are, I'm just saying they might just put you in that bracket depending on the actual specifics of this situation. So not the end of the world, just do all the prep work first. So hope this helps. Really appreciate these questions. Keep sending them my way. I'll keep answering them. The team keep getting them over to me and answering them as well. Once again, if you want your question answered, you can send it to any of our social media platforms. We love seeing them come across. We get to them every single week and answer them all, as well as we select a few to make it here on Coffee and Donuts for you. Also, our blog, use it. There's so many benefits in there for you to actually, when people ask me, hey, Frank, can you give me information about the field training program? Can you give me information about the academy? That is all in the blog. Hope this helps. Stay safe. I'll see you next time.